know what? One of the things I wanted to talk about. Pass the mic. I don't know if you saw it on Soul Train Awards.
Oh no, I didn't catch that. Go ahead.
It's fine. It's fine. No, I just wanted to actually talk about more so the success of his Pass the Mic,
Mm.
um, because I don't know if from the ones you have seen, which has been
Hmm.
your favorite. I mean, have you those they started
Um, they had one where they had Shannon and Jodie Watley in it.
okay.
Um,
So that was his.
I don't know if they're titled
Was
certain
that
like
the
'cause
one that had the El DeBarge and Shaka Khan and cameo?
yeah, I love
Okay,
that one. That's the one I keep going back to. So I like that one, and I also like the one where they had Ashanti and like the '90s, the
okay,
late
okay.
'90s
That no,
artists.
that was like the
Yeah,
2000s.
or
That
early
was
2000s. Yeah,
with Tamir and
but
Fabulous. Okay,
so those are my favorites. But I really like all. I usually like all of them. I don't think I've seen one that I found boring.
yeah.
You know, I usually like them. I think it was a really smart idea, and it's really taken off, and it's really um bringing light to these artists again.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
I just don't understand why it doesn't resurrect that either the type of music or the artist. Like I don't understand why it doesn't go beyond we us seeing them for like 15 seconds or 30 seconds singing a clip of their hit song. Like, I don't understand why it doesn't help the artist, you know.
No, but I almost think that it's what they do with the exposure. So they've gotten
Yeah.
so my favorite would be the very first one where he had Earth, Wind and Fire. He had yeah, he the very first one. It was he, it was when he first had the concept, and most of the 70s. Those were more like late 70s, early 80s
Mm.
artists. Jeff Red was there. Bobby was doing Prerogative, which is an 80s track.
Yeah, I remember that
Ricky
one.
Bell did the Mr. Telephone Man, and they had, as I said, Jeff Red, Ray Ray Parker Jr.
Mm.
And some of the like even Earth, Wind and Fire or Cool in the Gang, they were actually playing live the instruments live on that, and it was the first concept, it was the first one, and it was such a like wow, what's going on? Um, but strangely enough, the hip hop one was the one that got a lot of people's attention. Like wow, look at all these legendary acts, even Rakim,
Yeah.
all featured, and that was like wow, off the case. But what really took him to the new stratospheres when he did the sort of R&B 90s where with Keith Sweat and
Right.
Boys to Men and and um, Christopher Williams and all those guys, even Full Force. That was the one that like people just took notice and stuff. And there's I don't know if there's a fair comparison with verses. I think the early verses where it was just two guys on a mobile phone, two people on a mobile phone, probably you could compare to that. I think
Hmm.
versus has pretty much gone on another level since
Right.
Past the
Right.
Mic. Um, but as I said, as a concept, it's for 20 minutes you're seeing a good 20 artists that you hadn't seen in a long time, and you really get to enjoy. But the question you had was, how come they don't resurrect their career? And I do think it's what you do with it. You get over 10 million people watching you.
Mhm.
What do you do next? So when Di did the don't don't walk away, it's like,
Don't walk
oh
away.
Jade, oh what's going on? Oh, is that her name, Diary? So you already had the exposure. What do you do with that? Do you then get Jade
Right.
together? Let's do something
Right.
with the exposure we have. And a lot of them just didn't go on tour or anything or release
Right.
anything on the back of that. So that's been the
Well,
artist's fault.
yeah. Well, I did see the one where Di went on there without the other two members and performed "Don't Walk Away" without the other two members. Yeah, I did see that. And it did make me remember Jade and say, hey, where are the other two
Yeah,
girls?
yeah.
That would have been a great moment to see the other two girls in that moment. But and that's always disappointing too when I'll see one member, but not the other members, or and it's just so weird to me. I've seen a couple of people show up without the other members. Is the groups so fractured you can't even Skype in from your home like to sing, and you're not even singing, you're singing over your voice that's already playing. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
But
mean, yeah. When I spoke to one of the talent scouts for Past the Mic series, and he said that um, in some cases the groups have fallen out and they don't want to get involved, or they, KC did his stuff for Jodeci. It was like, well, Dalvin doesn't and JoJo aren't really social media buffs and stuff, and Dalvin Casey was the main singer, so they'd probably say, yeah, go ahead. It's no point us all
that's
joining.
also just, that points out how lazy some of these artists are. I feel like there was a time where people were hard workers in the music, in the entertainment industry, that they would take any opportunity. That's why New Edition, we had a conversation about New Edition. I like New Edition in that respect, that they have a great work ethic when they get together. They obviously can put whatever is going on in the outside world and internally with them aside,
Yeah,
and just get on that stage. But another comment, I want to go back to the question I posed earlier with resurrecting careers.
yeah,
I think that we're kind of just stuck in a nostalgia moment, and I don't think that we necessarily want to even really hear new music. Like, do we really want to hear new music? Because some of these artists are really releasing new music and nobody's listening to it. So, as much as we want, to supposedly resurrect R&B, do we really want to? I don't know. It's just, that's one of those things I really really question, because we see these greats that are you know uh you know Mary J. Blige still out there singing, Ashanti, um Monica, Brandy have released singles and albums recently, and no one's really paying attention to it. And the songs are pretty, they're good. um why are we not supporting these artists like we used to, if we claim we want R&B to come back? And so when I see things like the DJ Cassidy, it's exciting, but it's kind of the same old songs we hear on the radio all the time anyway, as far
mhm,
if you're listening to that, you know oldies R&B station. So, I don't know, it saddens me because it's kind of been regulated to, nostalgic moment, as opposed to, oh, remember R&B, how it used to make you feel? Don't you want more of that?
yeah.
It
Well, yeah, and I think Cassidy could use the branding and do a Past the Mic tour with a mix in the old and
you
new,
could.
and that in itself could be something worthwhile. But anyway, yeah, it'd be interesting once you go watch it. We can, um, if we have time, we probably can do a reaction video to it. But we'll see.
Well,
We'll see.
I don't mess with cable no more. So
Okay,
I usually
okay,
just, if it's not on the app or not on YouTube or something like that, I
yeah,
don't watch it. So
okay.